Hey, welcome back there, weekend visitors. Hey, so glad you could make another trip out to the paper prison. I always appreciate it when you do. It's a little lonely here, but today is a very special day here in the paper prison because I'm gonna be let out. Well, at least for a little bit. You see, I'm gonna go on work release. And what does that mean? Well, if you show good behavior and a model prisoner and fill out enough forms, you can sometimes be let out so you can work outside for an employer. And who's today's employer? Well, I will be inking a pinup pencils of Hawkgirl by Ed Catto, a very excellent chap who has done a lot, and I hope we can learn more about him. He's an excellent draftsman, so I'm really looking forward to what I'm going to ink. So, hopefully we'll learn a lot doing this, and we'll talk a little bit about Ed along the way. So, I think I'm ready to go. I got my inks, I got my tools, I have my ankle bracelet. That's right. They're going to keep an eye on me. They're not letting me get away. I'm definitely going to be returning to the slam. But right now I'm glad to get out a little sunshine, a little fresh air, and we'll just see how this works out. So let's go. Okay, let's look at this drawing a minute. Oh wow, this is great. Like I said, Ed's a great draftsman, and this is a very unusual drawing, one I don't think I would normally do because it isn't your stereotypical female action hero pose, broke back and all. It's very sensitive and graceful. I like how she's crouched down, but you can see the weight distribution on her feet. That's very unusual and very shows knowledge of how the body actually works. So hey, let's get on this. Okay, let's see if I can ink while I talk. It's like chewing gum and walking at the same time. All right, so starting off with some outlining and playing around with his abdominal musculature. I'm trying to make it appear muscular, yet also feminine and graceful. And also making sure I follow his line. I mean, it's his drawing, not mine. Although Ed says he wants me to put some of my style into it, he wants us to be a real partnership, not just me tracing his line, and that's fun for me. And I'm going to try to interpret the details in the helmet on top, which I think I'm doing from memory. There we go. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So, okay, so let's fill in a few more blacks and just work around the breast a little bit. Yep, I'm making it solid, and I think I have interpreted his graceful and sensitive rendering of the bicep. I was really concerned that I do that right. And let's see, now we're figuring out what his lines, what he means with the cross hatching, or the rendering rather. Like, does he want that to be turning of the form, or does he want that to be flat blacks? And that's just, he's leaving that up to me, and I appreciate that. So you always have to be careful about the rendering, because as what happens with newbies is, especially with inkers, is if you put too much, if you don't know what you're doing, you just throw a lot of rendering, a lot of cross hatching, so that the viewer just picks the lines they want, but really all you're doing is obscuring the drawing instead of drawing the drawing. And it's a kind of a newbie thing that I really want to avoid. So let's continue. Going back to talking about rendering, trying to figure out which lines are supposed to be turning the form and which lines are supposed to be flat black, and Ed is letting me make those decisions, which again I appreciate, and I'm really having a lot of fun here. And now we're coming up to the wing. Now as we do the wings, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, oh, how did John Byrne and Dave Cockrum do Angel's Wings? I'm cribbing from that, and I might be changing Ed's drawing a little more than I should in that way, but here's the thing. There's always going to be some points in a drawing where you can't just follow line for line. There's going to be sometimes when the penciler will do shorthands like indicating sand or rain or wings, and you have to do some interpretation. You have to interpret it from gray graphite to black ink, and that's just how it is. Now you're probably saying, "Oh, I'm seeing you doing a lot of rendering under the wings to show like it light it pulling away from the light." And yes, I'm afraid that maybe I have just overly rendered it. That I am doing the cardinal sin of putting a lot of lines there and having the viewer pick the lines. Now I'm playing around with some things I can add to it without changing Ed's drawing, like maybe the moon, which I decided against. Ed also told me there were some changes he would want to make in the wings himself, so now I'm going to try to do a little mind reading and just see what he would do. And as most artists are their own worst critic, I now find myself going back and wanting to re-render the breasts. And you know what? It's probably just fine. It's just me going nuts. I'm going Wally Wood on you. Just the breasts were just fine how they were. The wings were just fine as they were. But I'm, just breaking my own rules here. And here we go. Wow, well, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed inking it. As I said, Ed is an excellent draftsman, and I'd really love to have him on the show as a guest sometime. As I said, he's done a lot of work, not just as a freelancer in comics, but also in the business of comics, and not just in the business of comics, but in the business world, period. He's also worked in the educational system, and he has shared what he knows with his students and about the comics industry and what they could get out of it. Very interesting individual, and I would just like to be able to talk to him for a whole show. I'm sure you would love to hear his insights as well. I think he's got a lot to share. So, well, I guess that's it I guess I'm going back into the pokey. All good things must end, ankle bracelet and all. Well, I'm being reminded by the warden once again that if you liked what you see here, maybe you'll want to subscribe and hit the like button and smash that bell. All these things help me and help the channel. So until next time, I'd like to say that 4 walls do not a prison make, but comics can make a very cool prison. Adios.